Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, July 1st, around 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2024. Hurricane Beryl made landfall on the Windward Islands today as a Cat 4 hurricane, the earliest recorded Cat 4 in history. Where it goes from here is anyone's guess. We have a full update in just a moment. Keep calm. It's boom time. Hurricane Beryl makes landfall as a life-threatening Cat 4 storm on the Windward Islands. Grenada, St. Vincent, Trinidad and Tobago, all affected. And it was even stronger than expected as it churns towards Jamaica after devastating the Windward Islands, leaving at least one dead and most of the buildings completely decimated.
Is roaring through the Caribbean this hour after strengthening into a powerful Category 4 storm again. It's the strongest storm to hit the Windward Islands in 2 decades, bringing violent winds, life-threatening storm surges, and flash floods to several islands in the Caribbean. There's never been a storm of such intensity in the Atlantic this early in the year before. CNN's Patrick Ottman is monitoring the storm. He joins us live now from Havana. This Category 4 storm hitting the Caribbean exceptionally early. Just take us through that in the month of June.
Yeah, a strong Category 4 storm at that, and forecasters are saying that it feels more like August or September. That's usually the time of year when you see these stronger hurricanes develop as...
Well, this report is clearly boring. Let's get to it. Hurricane Beryl's unprecedented nature explained by Diamond. And what's next for the hurricane? Well, Beryl is the first major hurricane of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season and broke records as it reached Cat 4 strength over the weekend. Beryl became the first Category 4 hurricane on record in the Atlantic for June, and the only storm ever to intensify rapidly before September 1st, literally 60 days earlier than anything like this. It's a prime example of what ABC 13 weather team forewarned about this season. Now, this is probably due to the fact that they banned certain types of fuel in the Atlantic, and now the sun is blasting the surface of the ocean because there's no smog above it to prevent that sunlight from getting in there. So we could be seeing some more major hurricanes due to the Green New Deal. Can you believe that? Here is the latest update, the 8 p.m., showing that Hurricane Beryl is approaching Cat 5 territory, just 2 miles an hour away on the sustained winds. Sustained winds now at 155 miles per hour. It just needs to get to 157 or above, and it is now Cat 5. All the predictions are for this storm weakening over the next 5 or 6 days as it enters the Gulf of Mexico, but it's anyone's guess what will happen because all the predictions have been wrong. They claim that it would hit the windwards at Cat 2. It hit at Cat 4. They claim that it would only ever get to Cat 3, and it's already at Cat 4 and approaching Cat 5. And then in the next day or 2 days or so, the models diverge. So it could be headed up into the U.S. or straight through the Yucatan Peninsula and onward into Mexico. Stay tuned for more updates as the models get, clearer day by day. Severe thunderstorms across the Central Plains, hot conditions in the Southern Plains and Lower Mississippi Valley. Some call it summer. Severe thunderstorms are expected mainly from Kansas into northern Missouri and into Iowa Tuesday, Lose Day. Damaging winds will be the most likely threat with large hail possible. An enhanced risk, level 3 of 5, of severe thunderstorms is in effect. Hot conditions will continue across the Southern Plains Tuesday, spreading into the southeast and mid-Atlantic by Independence Day. And it will be a glorious Independence Day at that. Click on your county for more information at weather.gov. Here's the GFS model. We can see that there are some pop-up storms here in North and South Dakota. In the next 3 hours, they're going to dip down into Nebraska and Iowa, Minnesota, as well as Wisconsin, just like they said, and then reemerge tomorrow morning in Iowa as the storm system is just staying right here in the center all the way through the end of the week. So the main threat for severe weather is honing in right on the bullseye in the center of the U.S. Now let's talk about some record ice gains. You can see it right here. Let's click on it. Boom. We're talking about Greenland's record ice gain. Take a look at that. And rising. It has now broken out of record-breaking territory by 2 gigatons and is in unprecedented territory during the melt season. The melt season begins on June 1st and ends mid-August. And now we are at July 1st, and we have gained over 4 gigatons of ice on Greenland in the middle of the summer. I thought we were burning up. I thought Greenland was melting. There has never been this much ice on July 1st ever in history since we've been recording it on Greenland. The exact opposite of what the media is telling you is happening on Greenland. I hope you got the memo. Are you picking it up? Seismic update. Most recent quake, a boomer right here in northern Mexico near the state line, 3.1. We have some activity in Wyoming, 3.1 in Little America, Wyoming. And overall, no significant activity worldwide. Normal activity as we report to you. Worldwide volcano news for the day. Let's move it back to the beginning here of July 1st. We've got Sabancaya puffing to 23,000. Reventador to 14. Liwatobi puffing today. Ibu coming in at 10,000 foot puff. Fuego to 14. Sabancaya to 22. Nevado de Ruiz, 20,000 foot puff. Semeru, who knew? Now you do. Puffing today as well. Liwatobi, an eruption to 7,000 feet. Ibu, 10,000 foot puff. Sabancaya, 30,000 foot explosion. I didn't hear anything about that. That just kicked off moments ago. Quite a significant explosion from Sabancaya. So we'll be waiting in the morning for some reports from the region. Liwatobi puffing as well, 7,000 foot. We've got Marapi to 10,000 foot today. Ducono to 9, Ibu to 14, Semeru to 15 after that major 30,000 foot blast. And that wraps up today's worldwide volcano news. As we take a quick look over at space weather, it has been quiet on the sun for almost a week, except for this minor flare here coming in at M2.1 from a departing sunspot right around here earlier today. No significant coronal mass ejection, nothing at all. And you can see the flare right here, the M2.1 from AR3730. Now that plasma filament is showing up as a G1 geomagnetic storm on the detailed forecast July 3rd, right as we get into July 4th. We could see some aurora fireworks the day before the actual fireworks. How do you like them apples? Quick look over at telemetry shows all quiet on the solar wind as it dips down towards 400 kilometers per second. The BEZ looks flat and the phi angle is staying steady. Now this coming out from San Francisco Chronicle, which is paywalled, so you can't read any of your articles anyway, but they're all sharticles, so you don't need to read them to begin with. The New York Times also published an article today with the same similar headline, Why More Americans Die from Heat Each Year Than Any Other Extreme Weather. This is a complete lie, able to be fact-checked in 3 seconds using any search engine. But I do digress. The subtitle says, in the last decade, an average of 188 people died each year from heat. That must be your fault. It's because you drive SUVs all these people are dying. Complete lie. According to climate change indicators, and this is from the wokest, greenest climetards on Earth, and this is the actual data. Are you ready to blow your mind? Between 1979 and 2016. Are you picking it up? That's 37 years. In 37 years, the death rate as a direct result of exposure to cold in America, a total of more than 19,000 Americans have died from cold-related causes. That's over 500 a year. 500 a year, according to the data, die from cold in the U.S. in the last several decades. And they're claiming that 188 people is the most extreme. Come on. Come on, man. This is the state of mainstream media. They are propaganda. They have nothing to do with science. They have nothing to do with facts. It's all about fear and to make you comply with the current administration, which has a stranglehold on these schmucktards. So more Americans do not die from heat each year than any other extreme weather. They die from cold. Almost 3 times as many annually since 1979 have died from cold than from heat. So why are the largest platforms directly lying to you? Well, it's because it's a mandate. They have to. They can't report the facts because they're not allowed to. Their handlers are the deep state. This stunning photo of Devil's Tower was taken in 1900, and it proves it's a tree stump. No, it doesn't. But there's a lot of idiots on the interwebs that claim that that's what it is. Because they don't understand mineralogy, they don't understand volcanology, they don't even understand pretty much anything. Here is a geologic cross-section of Devil's Tower, which resembles nothing of a tree stump. But I do digress. This photo is amazing, and the people that took it were probably completely blown away. I was blown away when I found out Netflix Ancient Apocalypse was scrapped. Yep, it scraps its U.S. filming plans after outcry from Native American groups. And that's because this idiot named Graham Hancock was about to go to places like Chaco Canyon and claim that the natives didn't build it. In fact, this lowbrow pseudo-scientist doesn't have the wherewithal to even check all of the modern literature, meaning scientific papers, to look into anything he's doing. This guy is an author. He writes fiction books, has nothing to do with science, has not a single science degree, and yet people attack him as if he's a scientist. He's not. He's a charlatan that sells millions of dollars worth of books because he makes up fantastical stories that people love to read. None of it is necessarily true, and the more we look into his claims, the more and more ridiculous they become, and the more ridiculous that Graham Hancock looks in the eyes of actual scientists. This is all happening as the U.S. military is heightening the security alert at European bases due to a combination of threats. And those threats are all directly manufactured by NATO over a period of almost a decade. None of these threats would exist unless we did what we did. It's a big show, folks, and you are not invited to know who the authors are. Let's be quite honest. It's your taxpayer dollars that pay to murder millions of people worldwide to keep this ruse going. I hope some of you are waking up and you're no longer going to be part of the problem. You're going to be part of the solution. Keep watching and maybe stop paying your taxes. I didn't say that. Alien and Alan and I will be in Crestone for the 4th of July. Unique, united, undivided. Well, I don't believe that one so much. There's a huge rift in Crestone, like every other town, village, and city across America. It's left versus right. Freedom versus indoctrination. You choose. And I don't believe this for a second. This undivided, that's complete garbage. But join us in Crestone Town Park, July 4th, 2024, with a battle royale between the woke tards and the cool people. Noon to 7:30 p.m. We're going to be selling Damascus knives to the public, and we're going to be taking names. So come down to the park, enjoy some flute music. We're going to have a little mini concert. I just announced it, so head on down and enjoy the weekend. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share this video. We are a shadow band. We need your help to grow. We're prepping for the July event, July 4th in Crestone. I'm trying to get plants in the ground. I'm trying to get to Crestone. There's 1,000 things that need to be done. Our houses, we're trying to finish that, this, that, and the third. You understand. It's rough being self-sufficient. It's a lot of work to survive and thrive on your own. And when that grid goes out, many people are going to be in for a rude awakening. Be safe. We love you. And that is a boom.